Yeah, certainly a nice little number there from Amy Barbara and Walking on Sunshine. Welcome back, and you're listening to International Connection on Seabreeze Radio in New Zealand and streaming live on the web, of course. Victoria, what else is happening in the world?
We've got a lot that's still happening in the world that we haven't even gotten to, but I'm going to give you the scoop right now. So the mayor of Toronto, Canada, is back in the news. Oh, Stu, we Americans just love this story. This guy is the gift that just keeps on giving and giving and giving. So Rob Ford has decided to go into rehab. He will seek help for drugs and alcohol. The announcement came on Wednesday as a new video of Ford smoking crack as recently as Saturday has emerged. He will also suspend his campaign, and Ford's fall from grace started in May of 2013 when a cell phone video taken months earlier appeared to show him smoking crack cocaine. Stu, was that a big story there in New Zealand with this Toronto mayor smoking crack? It's been really big here in America.
It's been getting played on the TV news. I see it's all been happening there, and he's there sort of puffing his chest out and trying to hold his belly in, but that's not working. The little roach, little manny that he is, and being a complete damn idiot. But yeah, it's on our news as well.
Gotcha. Well, I tell you, when you said him puffing his chest out, his stomach looks like he never misses a meal. He looks like he eats all the time. So clearly, although he's been smoking crack, it's not making him lose any weight. He's still really, really big. But no, all jokes aside, I shouldn't joke about that serious issue, crack and cocaine and smoking and stuff. But he is going to try to get some help. So hopefully he will be able to help himself. And it's going to be interesting because I know they have an election coming up there in Toronto. And, I'm not really good at betting, although, a month ago I was in Las Vegas and I did win some money there, which is very rare because that never happens to me. But I'm pretty much betting that the people of Toronto are not going to vote him back into office. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that's going to happen.
Well, you would wonder how they would, wouldn't you? After that performance that he's just done, how would Americans vote him back into office? My God,
you mean Canadians?
Yeah, Canadians rather.
He's Canada.
Yeah, they'd have to be hard up for people to vote him, wouldn't they? He'd have to be the last man on the earth you'd put back in there. I'm sorry, America. I meant Canadians.
You said they would have to be hard up. Well, other things, has certainly happened that I could see that happening. You just never know. But no, I'm 100% sure Canadians are not going to vote him back in. But anyway, so this next story, now this has been trending really, really big online, literally as of yesterday. I kind of think we're the first that I've been seeing, Stu, media-wise, that's really been talking about it as opposed to a couple of other sites online. But 2 elite French police officers were charged Sunday with raping a Canadian tourist in their Paris headquarters. In this case, of course, has just sent shockwaves across France. The police were taken into custody after the 34-year-old woman filed a complaint saying that she had been raped overnight on Tuesday. Now, apparently, she did go to the hospital, and they did take a DNA test and perform a rape kit. So some of the information as a result of that kit, Stu, is actually still pending. But like I said, we're going to continue to follow this story because it's really, really picking up steam out there. And these French police officers, Stu, these guys are sort of at the top level that you can go to in terms of being a police officer. So, I just think for the French folks, it's just been shocking on so many different levels. And not only that, she was allegedly raped right there at the headquarters. It's just amazing.
It is unbelievable. We had a case like this in New Zealand, a few years back, and there was 4 officers up for sexual assault and rape. And the lady that put the charges out there, she brought it all to head too. I think she just about won everything out of it. So it's amazing, You might think that these law enforcements are squeaky clean. My God, there's some dirty rags in there as well, isn't there?
Yes. Yes, I do see that. Now, also here in Washington.
Hey?
I do. Well, and I tell you the reason why I do see that, because here in D.C., my brother, and of course I won't say his name because he'll be very upset, but my brother is a police officer in Washington, D.C., and I get to hear all sorts of stories, and even just being a journalist, you get to hear all sorts of stories. So you're right. I mean, all those guys and even women, too, do bad things, but they're all not squeaky clean. I mean, they have their issues on the police force, no matter where you are around the world. But bringing it back here to Washington, D.C., reports of sexual assault by members of the military rose 50% after the Pentagon began a vigorous campaign to get more victims to come forward. But officials are still unhappy with the low number of male victims who reported sexual assault, saying that they want more of them, Stu, to come forward. So here's a deal with that when it comes to guys coming forward to report sexual assault. I always think that if a guy has been sexually assaulted, that he would never come forward to say anything, because he's going to feel embarrassed. He's going to think that, people are going to laugh at him. I just think there's this sort of stigma that's attached to sexual assault when it comes to men. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I suppose a man would sort of feel a bit embarrassed. Sexual assault, is it sexual assault from a female or another male, or what? What's the balance in the forces? Is it a male-female ratio? What's it like? What is it? Do you know?
Oh no, the report that came out just said that that sexual assaults by members of the military, and I think they were mainly talking about women, rose 50%. But I'm pretty sure they're saying the reason that is because they've got this new campaign right now that the Pentagon is pushing through, to tell women and men to actually report if something has happened to you. Because prior, within at least the military here in America, a lot of women that have been raped just simply don't say anything. They don't say anything because they're afraid they're going to lose their job. They don't say anything because they're afraid that something may happen to them. So basically, they just keep their mouth shut. I mean, there's a million reasons why they don't say anything. But I think that number was specifically for women. And again, the military has been focusing on prevention programs and looking at alcohol sales and other policies as it tackles sexual assault on military bases. Because I do remember reading something about a lot of the sexual assaults happen as a result of drinking and as a result of alcohol.
Yeah, well, it does happen, doesn't it? But, I don't know. Many questions revolve around all that, I think. There's too many questions revolve around all that. Like a female getting raped, you can understand that. Or sexual assault, you can understand that. A male, goodness gracious me. Come on, where are you coming from? Just stand up and say, get out of it. Or, grow something and be strong.
No, see.
I'm trying to be politically correct here. I really am.
I know, but
I could put it into English for you.
What you're saying, what I think you're trying to say is what's a part of the problem. And here's the deal: men can be sexually assaulted just like women. So the military is just simply saying, if you're a man and you have been sexually assaulted, then they want you to report it. To them, it's no different than if you're a woman and you were raped and sexually assaulted versus if you were a man. But like I said earlier, I just think there's a stigma to it, and men who've been sexually assaulted just simply don't want to say, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to go over to Human Resources and I'm going to fill out this paperwork and say I was sexually assaulted. I just don't see that that's going to happen. But anyway, we're not going to be able to fix that debate today.
No, I don't
think
so. No, I don't think so. The poor gentleman over there filling out the page. How did you get sexually assaulted? Oh, she patted my bottom. Well,
I mean, I think it would be a little bit more than somebody squeezing or patting someone's bottom. I mean, I'm assuming it would be a little bit more involved in that. But because it's morning time there and people are probably having breakfast and it's evening here, we probably shouldn't get into all of that. But I do think that one day when we have our longer segments, which will be on Friday, our interviews, that we should come back and address this subject and talk about it. Maybe we can have a couple of experts on from both ends to sort of dissect this and, flesh it out so we can have a conversation about it. But I've got to move on to some other news. So there's been a bit of a drama on an Air New Zealand flight. And thank God it wasn't when I was there, because Stu Frith would have sworn that I had something to do with this. So the drama had nothing to do with me. The plane apparently was on its way to Napier. Is that how you say it, Napier?
That's right, Napier. Yep.
Okay. In air, but had to fly back to Auckland after a passenger made a, quote, non-specific verbal threat involving the flight the woman was due to travel on, end of quote. So basically it sounds like the lady was upset that where she was heading, she was going to miss her flight, and she made a non-verbal threat. So they decided, hey, you know what? We don't really know if this lady is crazy or if she's telling the truth. We better turn the airplane back around and, just kind of have this whole situation checked out.
Yep, interesting. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't take much to bring an airplane down.
I've only had great experiences with Air New Zealand, because if the lady was nice, like I was nice when my flight got delayed as a result of weather, they would have waited for her. She wouldn't have had to gone through this problem. Then everybody would have been happy. That's why you should always be nice to people.
Yes, Becky, that's right. Standing out there with your six-shooter saying, hold that plane up, I'm going to get on board. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, of course you were. You were very nice, and you held the plane up for 45 minutes in Auckland, didn't you, waiting to fly back to Los Angeles? So, Yeah. And
I was very nice, though.
Yeah, plane of 480 people, and you were the only one left to board 45 minutes later. Yeah, cool. You've got it all.
And you know what? I have to say I was very impressed with my wonderful Kiwis, because none of them gave me the evil eye. I was running and trying to get to my seat. They all smiled and sort of nodded at me, because I assure you, if that was an American airline, at least 5 or 6 people would have yelled at me. They would have cursed my name and said a whole bunch of other stuff. So I'm very happy that wasn't an American airline.
Cool.
But anyway, we're going to take another commercial break. We've got a station ID and another commercial break. What was that?
I was going to say, of course they were smiling at you. They saw you running across the tarmac. I've seen you run. There's enough to make anybody smile. Hey? Sorry.
Okay, so I run like a penguin. I can't help it.
Yeah. All right, I got a number here by a young lady in Canada, and we've been talking about Canada this morning. This girl, she's hot out of Canada in the country scene. Absolutely fantastic, gorgeous-looking young lady, Chelsea Christ. And we're going to be talking to Chelsea next week, actually, here on Seabreeze. We're going to be talking to her about her latest single. But here's a bit of we're going to give you the whole song this morning here, just to warm you up for the interview next week. It's called Four Wheel Drive.